What I'm saying is if you play both, if you play Mana Tides and the expensive guys, you end up turn 8 with a hand with a lot of biggies and with 5 cards in your hand or 4 cards in your hand. And that's probably exactly not what you would like to have. On the other hand, if you play without Mana Tides, you will run a little bit smaller or lower in cards, but that's perfectly fine because you will have these expensive cards in the later stages of your game too, but you won't sacrifice so much early game. It's very simple. I also don't mind the Totemic Core that much, to be honest. Speaking of Sir Finlay and stuff like this. I think with Sir Finlay you just sacrifice a little bit of early game. Because 1 mana 1/3 is not exactly strong. But for that you also have the luxury to receive a new hero power. But that's the thing, I mean, how bad is the hero power really? I mean, would a 2 mana 1/1 hero power like Paladin has, would that be... Okay, that works for sure. So we have 5. If you Lightning Bolt it, you can just play this, right? If you Rock Biter it, yeah, if you Lightning Bolt it, this also gets stronger. So if you Lightning Bolt it, I think we can even take 1 attack. Yeah. That's more reasonable. He's still got the coin, yeah, who cares? We already have a lot of stuff on the board. Now what I'm talking about is, what hero power would you like to have? Hunter hero power, 2 damage in your opponent's face. That's not much better than getting a 1/1. The reason for that is that this deck can actually utilize the 1/1s with the Flame Tongue Totem, right? So I would say the Hunter hero power is not that much superior to the 1/1. And yeah, the Warlock hero power maybe is. The question is how much. On the other hand, I'm not even sure whether, let's say, hero power which would always produce 1/1 totems would not be simply better than the Hunter hero power because they are totems. Totems can be used in the Thunder Bluff, but let's just assume you don't play the Thunder Bluff. But they can also be utilized into the thing from below. So I would argue that a 1/1 totem, if you could always produce a 1/1 totem, would be a better hero ability than the Hunter hero ability and nearly as good as the Warlock hero ability. So yeah, so probably this. And the question is, how would it compare to the Warlock hero ability if you would always get 1/1 totems? Well, it would probably be inferior, but not that much. So that's definitely not a reasoning to play the Sir Finlay. Now you might argue that the totems are not exactly 1/1, only one of the totems is 1/1. One of the totems is a 0/2 taunt. I'm not sure how much versus 0/2 taunt is below the 1/1. I would argue that the 0/2 taunt is maybe as strong as a 1/1, because of course in pure stats and raw stats is weaker, but having taunt probably makes up for the drawback. And then there is a healing totem. I think a healing totem is not that much inferior as well. And the spell totem is also not that much inferior, so whatever. We are overcommitting if we play Tusker, right? I mean, I'm not sure whether we are overcommitting. At the moment we have 6 damage on the board. It's not exactly huge, is it? I guess we want to kill the Murloc. Maybe we could do it with the spell totem. Not to save 3 damage, but this is overcommitting, right? I mean, maybe he doesn't have the board clear. Then it would not be overcommitting at all. But we also might get 1/1s, right? We can also play this. Maybe even taking the spell totem. I'm not sure. Nah, not really. I think that's fine, right? Because it doesn't get affected. I was thinking about the stuff which draws him cards, but this real life is really completely irrelevant. I think this real life should be completely irrelevant. I'm not sure about this, but I guess this wants to hit. If you want to chain, we would have put this here, but I'm not sure about the chain stuff. Pyro Consecration, Pyro Coin, Pyro Consecration clears. And now I'm very happy that we played it how we played it. 2, 5, 7, 8. We could ignore it. You think we can say that he doesn't have board clear now?
I wonder.
We could send 2 in. It should not be that much of a drawback. Yeah, I guess it should not be that much. We'll take it, right?
There's little time.
No. Oh yeah. Nah, but I don't think we should play this now. Now we really have a lot of on the board, right? So what did you do? You sent this into Sylvanas with Flame Tongue. You sent this into Sylvanas with Flame Tongue. With this you could activate this. 4, 6, 7. Okay. So you have 7. Yeah, we might have wanted to play this last time. I have the feeling that we are overcommitting ourselves if you play this. So this.
Did you bring some fish?
That's convenient. Nah, we are completely committed, right? Interesting. So take a look at the board. We should have enough board persons.
Like to play with fire?
Just totem every turn for sure. Maybe not this, you can then equality. Yeah, it's not the best spot to be in. He can peacekeep this. With this he can even just play the blank equality. So was there some misplay? We could have committed a little bit more, but I don't think so. We were completely committed already. We could have played the Flame Breast, but I'm not sure how much benefit we would have gotten from this. I think we just played the Wolves and the Tusker. This simply gets peacekeep or humiliated, so I don't think we are very interested in doing this. But I'm pretty sure we are interested in producing a totem every turn. So yeah, let's just do this. Another consecration could swipe the board, but I don't think it's too important. And the reason is that if he plays the consecration, he is out of, because he already played Pyro Consecration. If he plays the consecration, he's nearly out of equality procs. He can only proc equality with the last Pyro. Okay, Thunder Bluff. It comes to our help.
There is a lot at stake.
I don't think he can use the weapon too often. The reason is that he's already a little bit low on life.
I wonder.
We could send everything in, but are we really afraid of anything? Maybe Consecration. And that's pretty much it, right? He cannot really get rid of the Thunder Bluff unless he has Quality Pyro. But I'm telling you, we could send one dude in if we want that. Maybe we should. So if we send one dude in, this goes to 4. We tap and then we can trade. So probably this is correct. The other trades are incorrect because he then would have access to one weapon hit, and maybe we don't want that he has access to weapon hit because of Consecration, and then he might hit this, which we don't want. Right? We could have traded these 3 dudes into this if he would have been interested in this, but I think in terms of Pyro Equality, it just doesn't matter. Does nearly not matter. If he has Pyro Equality, he also kills 3, so he can still draw for 2. But I guess if he doesn't clear this.
Follow the rules. Move quickly.
Yeah, I mean, at some point we also have to do something, right? I mean, it's...
The victory is yours.